Hi, I'm Alan Jaeger.
And I'm Jim Vatcher.
And we're with Jaeger Sports. And today we're at the Urban Youth Academy here in Compton. And we're really excited to talk to the kids today about mental training. So our goal today is to, number one, educate the players and let them know that the mental game is something that can be worked on. And number two, to give them a practice, a daily practice, just like fielding ground balls.
The mental training for me had the greatest impact on my career, because once I applied it on a daily basis, I was consistent all the time. I felt relaxed in the batter's box. I felt grounded. I was seeing the ball well with patience. I had good plate coverage and discipline. And because there's a lot of stressors in life, and sometimes you need to settle your mind, because you want to be relaxed as a hitter, you want to be relaxed as an athlete. That's the only way to play any sport.
Okay, first of all, I want to thank you guys for coming here early. My partner, Jim Vatcher, who's over here to my right, he played 15 years professionally. Fortunately for me, a lot of the strain came from working with him and being around him. As Jim always says, find out how good you can be. I think that's the moral of the story. What we want to do today is make this simple. If you study baseball and practice plans, which we've done whether we like it or not for 20+ years, this game is about physical training, and you got to do it. You got to take your hacks, you got to throw the ball. Obviously, you know we're big into the arm care and all the long toss stuff. You got to do the physical work, but guess what? When you're spending 90 to 100% of your day on physical practice, ground balls, fly balls, batting practice, running, stretching, and guess what? This game is 90% mental by the time you become maybe a varsity player in high school. It's probably 95% when you get into college at the 4-year level. It's probably 98% by the time you sign and get into rookie ball or A ball or double A. When you get to the big leagues, guys, it's probably 99.9. I heard Brian Jordan once say, who knows a little bit about sports, because the guy was an all-pro football player too. And I heard him in an interview, and it cracked me up, man. It backed up what I'm saying to you right now. He said, man, this baseball game is 100% mental. Is that 90% or more of the game that you're probably putting 0% or maybe 5% in, you can start plugging into a little bit. Because I'll tell you right now, you guys, if you haven't figured this out yet, as you go up more and more in this game, higher and higher on the pyramid, it gets more mental. And all of a sudden, your ability to relax with the bases loaded gets more important. Your ability to throw strikes when there's pressure on gets more important. And that's mental. So we're going to break today down to two really simple concepts. The first concept is this. The mental side of the game, we call it game management. Well, what can I do better out there? How can I think better? And in a way, you're really going to learn to not think as much. But how can I use my mind better out there? That's number one. And number two is what can I do every day, like ground balls and fly balls, where I can maybe get in somewhere in my bedroom, or I can go in the locker room and I can sit there for 10 minutes and do that breathing exercise that we did today, where I can learn to relax my mind every day so that skill gets better. So I can clear my mind every day so that skill gets better. So by following my breathing for 10 minutes, the discipline in my mind gets better. You hear what I'm saying? Your skills are getting better. The mental skills, not the physical skills, the mental skills. But the thing is you have to decide today that I got to work at it. It's that simple. You know, we can tell you all these great things about the mental game. If you don't decide every day to do something about it, and we're going to give you something to do today, then we look at it as you're playing Russian roulette with your career. You're basically saying, I don't need to work on the mental game. I'm physically that good. Not because he didn't have the skills, but his mind got in the way. He thought too much. He worried too much. He was worried about, am I 0 for 3 or 3 for 3? He was worried about who's in the stands. You can be better at this game, but you got to first realize that they are skills. Being relaxed is a skill. Clearing your mind is a skill. Not thinking so much is a skill. And we're going to do a nice little mental practice today, and after 10 minutes, you're going to come out of that and go, man, I am clear. I am more relaxed. My mind is more disciplined. I don't hear things around me as much. The grass looks greener. And that day, you're going to feel like, man, I'm going to have a pretty good day today. Okay, so in review, the mental game is two things. One is it's changing your mentality of how you look at the game out there, which we're going to talk about right now. And the second thing is doing something every day to get those mental skills better. Okay? We're going to talk about one theme today because we don't have a lot of time and I don't want to overwhelm you. And we want to get to some good yoga today, okay? And here's the one theme. It's called being process-oriented If you guys could just be good at this mentality, your career is going to start to do this. Does anybody want to offer up some answers for me? Yeah.
You start to magnify it more and get deeper into it. It starts to seem like more of a big deal than it actually is.
Exactly. So do you know, if I say, for instance, the bases are loaded right now, if we had an electrode hooked up to your body, electrodes that kind of measure your body, guess what would have happened? Probably every single one of you, probably, not for sure, your heart rate probably would have gone up, your pulse would have changed, your breathing, instead of it being kind of more fluid, might have got a little faster, a little more tension may have entered your body. Do you guys see where I'm going with this? Just because I said the word bases loaded, I didn't even tell you we're playing a game yet. So the human body, unfortunately, because our brain has taught us so much about these consequences, these results, or all these situations that create pressure, we start thinking about that stuff. And earlier we did some drills where we learned, no. If I'm a hitter, I need to see the ball well, and I need to attack the inside part of the baseball, or I need to hit it hard, or I need to look for a certain area and stick to that game plan. I didn't say anything about bases loaded, did I? I talked about a process, a commitment to one thing. Pitchers, it's even easier because the ball's in your hand. Where's my focal point? Where's the catcher's glove there? Great. See the focal point, attack the focal point. That's what we tell our pitchers to do, period. See the focal point, attack the focal point. Did I say the bases were loaded? Did I say that there was a scout in the stands? Did I say my ERA is 5.9 or 1.2? But you can see how that mind works. It wants to say, man, if I have another shutout inning, my ERA is going to go under 1. Right? Or if I get one more run, my ERA is going to go over 2. Or as a hitter, if I get that first hit early in the game, man, I can relax, right? Or I'm 0 for 3, I got to get a hit today. Pressure, stress, tension, bad stuff. That's it. Because really, what more do you want to do? See ball, hit ball. If you're a pitcher, look for your focal point and attack. And watch how often your mind may go into all these other thoughts I just talked about, the situation, the consequences, who's watching, and catch yourself and go, wait a minute, I learned today, that doesn't matter, I can't control that. I can control my focal point. I can control seeing the ball well and hitting it hard. Does that make sense? Now, so every day, if you start for 5 or 10 minutes, what we're going to do today again, if you do this breathing, you're like, man, I'm being more relaxed. I'm more clear-minded. I'm more in the present moment. I'm more committed to what I'm doing now. 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 I'm seeing the ball now. Yeah, but didn't you know the bases were loaded? I'm seeing the ball now. Didn't you know there's a scout in the stands? I'm seeing the ball now. We've learned that our breath especially keeps us in the moment. Our breath relaxes us. Our breath clears our mind. That's all physiological stuff. And guess what? Our mental training, 10 minutes I'm asking you to do every day, is based on just some breathing exercises. Because the breath is always happening now. It's process. It's now. It's not a consequence. It's not a result. It's not a pressure. Okay, so before we go out there and do this little breathing exercise, because I think I just gave you 15 minutes of just bottom line information, I want to make sure you guys got it. And I want to know what you learned today and how you can apply it to the game today. So does anybody have any input for us?
Definitely. Yes? I had a lot of at-bats where the situation kind of overwhelmed a little bit, and it became hard to focus on what I needed to do, which was, look for a strike and, hit it hard. But
you're caught up with all the other stuff.
Right.
I think the important thing you said was about breathing.
Yes.
And I mean, breathing comes not with just baseball, with life every day. You can get mad at somebody, but if you step away and take a deep breath and just let it all register, you can be the better person. I come back, but I think saying that breathing is a very big part.
If I say I go like 1-0, 2-0 to someone, sometimes I'll get the ball, take it back, and get right back on the mound. But when I take the time to step off and take a deep breath and just settle myself down, I can come back and focus on the focal point a lot better and throw a strike and get ahead of the hitter. But before that, like I said, I would just get the ball, get back on the mound, and just rush through my delivery because I wasn't relaxed.
When you said about thinking too much, that happens to me a lot because, like, when I get 2 strikes on me, I get real nervous. So I think a lot, and I just need something to really help me out so I can get through that.